Okay, now watching when she goes to the level 12, I was I was flying away to Vietnam. In many parts of the series, I've been thinking of my experience in Vietnam, and well, in here it's just like they are mutant, and one woman is giving birth several monsters that they are under the water and they are eating the mother after being born, and reminded me a little bit of the Nazis and all these kind of things. But not only that, also the like a museum of horrors, and I was in one of them in Saigon, the War Museum. It was a necessary experience that I need to have in that exact moment. The previous day, I was 6 days meditating in a temple in Thailand. The next day, I arrived to Saigon and I go to the Museum of Horrors. It was too much to handle emotionally. It affected me a lot in that moment, but as I was in a trance and I had to get out to breathe and cry and recover and go back and get into that. Like, war is war and it's not like MASH, right? MASH was a comedy. MASH is what I thought when I went to the museum. But the MASH, I think, is about the war in Korea. But for me, as a child, when I watched MASH, I think it was Korea. But for me, what is the difference? Vietnam, Korea, for a child, it's just a war. People killing and people dying. It's just nothing else, right? For the reasons for that is always the same thing: power, money, and that museum was made for not repeating again. It was in many posters about not repeating again the same stupid, not mistakes, but horrible things. I was in shock, and then I was scuba diving with an American guy in Phu Quoc, and I told him about the museum, how shocking it was, and of course he was into the diplomacy of the United States, and he said, it's all this propaganda. It's not exactly what they wrote their own story, their own history. I don't care. But this kind of comments, what I mean is that the horror is there. I don't care who was right or who was wrong. The horror was there, and some people are just ignoring it, like, this communist, just like the Reds on this movie. So, all my life I've been involved in all these kind of feelings, emotions, dimensions that the rest of the people was they deserve it, or they, when I read these kind of things, when they lack respect of people because they have dreadlocks, or because they are fat, or because they are bald head, or because whatever reason there is, they have glasses and they call them four eyes. All these horrible things is like Mutant Action, the movie, Acción Mutante, and that's how it is in here. In Vault number 4 is all the mutants, and it was a parody of the society nowadays, in which this woman is like a child in everywhere. It's like a newborn everywhere. So she is getting an injection of not history but real life, instead of books, real experiences from her own eyes and other people's eyes, and then she can empathize with any of them because she's been living shoulder to shoulder with all these people. And that's the root of hate, the ignorance. When people they ignore other people's feelings, other people's lifestyles, other people's ideas, and yours are the only ones, the only good ones, the only clever ones, the only... even this girl has that problem, right? But she was so full of herself, and now she starts to hesitate. But the problem is when people are, we are the best because we are white, or we are the best because we are black. It doesn't matter. But just changing the color is like, okay, now we start again from the beginning. And now all the white people need to ask for forgiveness to black people. Everybody should watch all these kind of movies and TV series and understand them in the levels that the writers want them to understand. But hopefully these people are making... I always have this this wish, this desire that the people who created the Monty Python, the Rat Pack, all these small tribes made of creative people, and the one for Avatar, well, for sure James Cameron, and many other people, of course, they are much higher in conscious level than majority, but are people like them changing the world in a way that is not to change the world in this way or another. It's giving the people the tools to get rid of the chains of ideology, religion, blah, 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 and transcend. Give the key to open the box. And it's not Pandora's box.